Hey everybody, it's Joe with some words of wisdom for today. So when I was in my, I'd say about 20, 25 years ago, um, the talk was from most people, we're tired of politics as usual. We're tired of Republican and Democrat and Republican only having two parties. They both lie. They both say they're going to do things and then don't keep their word. They're both the same party, but just wear different hats. That we want change. We deserve change. We need change. We don't like the way things are being run. We don't like all the wars. We don't like a lot of the situations, a lot of the way that things are going down in America. We just don't like it. We want change. And I've even talked to my parents about, every time they have these Democratic debates, it's the same old thing. They talk about what they're going to do for the economy, what they're going to do militarily, and maybe a soft thought on abortion. That's usually the biggest debate subject that causes the most controversy. And it's usually a very short conversation, debate, where both sides try to not upset the other side of fear of losing votes. And this is not a video about abortion. So we've been clamoring for change, change. Tired of the people above the presidents that make the decisions and then tell the presidents what to do. Basically, if you don't believe that, well, obviously you're not very well researched in the Bilderberg meetings, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and who really runs the world. So, we think, and a lot of people even have the whole mentality that, hey, why vote? My vote doesn't matter, because no matter who they put in office, they're just the puppets. And I'm sure you've heard that before. If I'm the first person who's talked about this, then again, you're very naive and you haven't been around, you haven't talked to many people. You're a true sheep, and I'm sorry to say that, but if you haven't heard this, what I'm saying before, you're a sheep. So, we had the first black man, it's actually half black, half white, run for office, and he promised change. And I voted for him because I wanted change. And he won because most people voted for him. Did he really win? Who knows? Was he put in there? The electoral whole way that people vote nowadays is, I think, very corrupt as well. I think the machines and the votes can be switched, manufactured. And, I wish that they would really just go back to, I wish they would just go to a social security number. You put in your social security number, registers your name, and then you vote. You don't have to reveal who you're voting for. You still have that privacy. But at least it would keep people from voting multiple times. Why we don't do that, I don't know. It's not unconstitutional to give your social security number. The government has your social security number anyway. So, don't really get why we don't do that. But anyway, no matter what you think about voting, Barack Obama was elected. And I didn't really see any changes. Did you see any changes? Any major changes that were good for society? He got us into more wars. While he was in office, we were in 5 different wars. Or continued wars that were started by the Bush administration that I have no love for either. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I just want real change for the good of humanity. So, in my opinion, Barack Obama did not bring change. He did not bring any positive change, if he brought any change. The only thing he did was continue on the regime of the Rothschilds and the elite that really have control. They Started with Clinton's and continued through Bush and into Obama, of shipping jobs out of America and into China, in India, and Vietnam, and just out of America, though. That's all you need to know. So what happens when jobs leave? When you don't have jobs, you're not making money, you can't buy a house, you can't support a family. So now you've got more people dependent on the government and the state to supply them with housing and food. So the more people that become dependent on the government, the more control the government has over people. Because if the government gets too much control because they keep doing this to people, too many people are reliant on the government. Now when the government decides to make changes you don't like, you have to go along with it. Otherwise, they can take away your food in your house and destroy your family if you still have one. After all the mental despair you're under because you don't have any freedom left. So along comes this guy named Trump, right? And he's a billionaire. And they try to paint him as someone who is a rich, and he is an elite, and he is a one percenter. That's the first trick they try to use, because he's a billionaire. Well, he is rich, but he's not a Rothschild. He's not one of their gang. He's not one of their party. He's not one of their puppets like the other presidents have been. Because he's a self-made millionaire with some help from his family, not connected to the global elite, like I said, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. They don't really need their money, their approval, to become rich. They've already got it. So then they try to paint him as a racist, even though the Reverend Jesse Jackson, the Reverend Martin Luther King, his family endorsed him. All of them endorsed Donald Trump, right? So they all endorsed him. How could he be a racist? Mike Tyson says he's always been good to him. He's let people of color who crashed in his hotel and hid in there actually stay there for free and bring them flowers every day. He opened up white golf courses to black people. They were exclusively white only. But they still want to say he's a racist. Now they want to say he colludes with Russia. And they had the top Democrat FBI agents come out and say he colluded. And the top Democrat people come out and say he colluded. They even go as far as having an investigation where they interview 500 people and spend over $30 million. Actually closer to 40 or 50 million by the time it's all said and done. And the result is no collusion. Guys, what they're trying to do is get people who support Trump mad at people who don't support Trump. They're trying to get racism in play, black against white, or white, everybody against white, it seems like. Men versus women. Trying to say Trump is a sexist, even though he's got more women in his cabinet than any other president's ever had. They're trying to pull every dirty trick they can and trying to divide Americans as much as possible. Men versus women, color, now politically. And I see people from one side don't even want to hear what the other side has to say. They don't even want to have conversations. It's working to some extent with people that are not very intelligent, who just want to go out there and spew hate, because I don't think they have the IQs to realize that everything needs to start with conversation, and that it's okay to change your mind, and it's okay to think differently than what you thought before based on facts. So basically What I want to stress today is no matter how mad you get at the opposing side for not listening to you, for their politics, that there's no need for violence, okay? That is what they want. They want violence. They want us to physically fight. They would love a civil war, because a civil war causes chaos. With chaos, they can get their power back because they're losing their power. Because Trump, who's not one of them, is taking their power. He's actually really making a change. He's making a change that's good for the people, the change that we wanted. Yet, a big portion of the country is too blind to see that. Either they're too young to remember 20, 25 years ago when people were talking about how they wanted to change, or they're falling for the BS that he is a racist, or he's anti-woman, or he's anti-whatever they want to push for their agenda. Can you imagine if we all pulled together and supported Trump, even just for his first term, just to see how things worked out? But they don't want that. They want us arguing and fighting with one another. Can you imagine what could have been accomplished? And if we didn't like it, then everybody would be on the same page, because they try to push him as a racist, and they try to push all his followers as racists. And if you think that most white people in America are racist, you're out of your ever-loving mind, man. You're out of your ever-loving mind. Racism, if you want to see racism, you can go to countries where they kill you for being gay, or they throw you off a roof for being a Christian. Or if you're a woman, they make you walk 10 steps behind the man. That's real racism. People may have different points of opinion and different points of view in America, and that's what makes America great. Our freedom to speak, our freedoms that we have. That's why America is great, because we're different from all the other countries. Because even though we have our differences, we all come together. But now we're not doing that. They want us to fight. They want us to physically, not even just punch, they want us to shoot and kill and blow up and maim each other. What good does that do anybody? It doesn't do anybody any good. All it does is cause hurt, more resentment, destruction of buildings, and fear. It's not good for anybody. So guys, please do not resort to this type of thing. The first one who starts is going to be the loser. All right? I think that biblically it's worked out that way. That's why they're trying to push Trump supporters' buttons so much, because they want us to start. They want us to make the first move. They want us to be the ones to initiate the physical violence. Even though there are groups out there like Antifa who do hit people with clubs and try to fight people, and when people fight back, I don't really consider that being the aggressor when they're being attacked. That's just protecting yourself. But I just want that to be my message today. Don't fight back. Start dialogue. Talk with one another. Remember who the real enemy is. It's not the man, the woman, the Muslim, the Christian, the black, the white, the Asian, the Hispanic, the rich, the poor. The real enemies are the ones at the top. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, DuPonts. There's a whole list of them. You can find out who they are. If you're not familiar with these elite, these are the real elite. These are not the ones that just have a million or a couple hundred million or $1 billion. These are the ones that have trillions, that really own things, that meet at Bilderberg and decide the shape of the world, how they want it to be. And I'm going to sign off. God bless each and every one of you.